George Kambosos, late summer, still grinding it out here. Big sparring session today. How do we feel?
I feel good, man. Very sharp, as you saw. Super sharp, and we're sparring like a very good fighter too. You know, Tino's Commonwealth Games representative, Olympian, 1 or 2-0 as a pro now. So he's making his entry to the pros. He actually got me up for the first Haney fight, so he's improved a lot. And obviously, put in some good work today as well.
A lot of talk online a couple of days ago about a lot of people saying that you're looking very different in the training that you have released on your social media and other stuff. Is it in terms of for you and your team that you've had to sort of break down those 2 Haney fights and then work on certain things, or is it more go back to the mentality of George Kambosos before Selby and Lopez?
A bit of everything. You know, we are adding from our experience against Haney, we're adding from the Lopez fight, we're adding from what we were back in the past. We keep evolving as a fighter, and if anyone out there thinks that I'm not evolving, then you have to see in this next fight. But we're continually evolving, getting better and better. And you can see it in my sparring, and we only put out what we want the fans and the fighters to see. There's a lot of other things that obviously I'm not going to show as well. But no, I feel very good.
In terms of the last 2 fights with Haney, you did your camp here. Is there a thing that you might go back to America, whether it's in Vegas, Colorado, Miami? You might go back overseas for your next camp?
Yeah, I think so. There's obviously negotiating going on with this next fight, and then from there we'll put the camp together. But I'm going to keep doing what worked for me back in the day, and adding my new experiences, what I've learned, to who I am now, and become a better fighter. So yeah, we'll probably go overseas. We'll see where. I don't know exactly where. Maybe back to the US, where I won my championships. Maybe somewhere else. Maybe to Antarctica. I don't know.
Lots of talk right now around this Maxi Hughes, Kambosos versus Maxi Hughes, who's the current IBO lightweight world champion. There's talk about that fight. What can you tell the ferocious fans where that's at and how that could go down?
Yeah, Maxi. Yeah, that's good talk at the moment. A lot of moving parts. I'm the big name, and he's looking for the payday. He's looking for the opportunity. So, there'll be more on that soon. But if it does go through, there's an IBF eliminator, beautiful back in position. If you go back for when I got to fight Lopez, I beat an Englishman, to get to that position. So it's quite similar in that stance. IBO world title on the line as well. He's got that belt, so I'd love to add that to the collection if everything goes through. And I've got a big fan base in England. I got a bigger fan base than what he has, so it makes sense. But we'll see. There's still a lot of moving particles. There's a lot of other big fights out there for me as well. So exciting times. Either way, I've got 5 world title belts at home. I know the IBO is not one of the top 4. I got the 4, but I want to add this one to the collection if everything goes right. And most importantly, put myself in the IBF eliminator. Smart chess moves. It's not checkers, it's just chess.
Is there a chance that you could do that fight in England, or would you want to do it here?
No, I ain't going to go to England. Look, I'm the big name, so there's a good chance it will be here, but there also is talk about, is that?
That's Maxi Hughes. It's Eddie Hearn.
I don't talk to
It's Eddie and Lou.
I'm talking to him if we do get on, but there is also talk with doing it as the co-main to Haney Lomachenko. So we'll see. There's a lot of options. So
where do you think that fight will? Do you reckon they'll do that in Saudi Arabia, or will it happen in Vegas? I know Devin says he wants to do it in Saudi Arabia. They can probably pull some more money there, but look, he is the A side on that. He's the man to beat the man to beat the man. You know what I mean? Would that be in Las Vegas or Saudi Arabia?
Look, I think it's going to end up in Vegas. That's just my, looking from the outside. But it just depends where the money comes through. If Saudi Arabia's got a lot of money behind them, which obviously they do, that could drop there. But we'll see. So, like I said, it's an exciting fight. I'm looking forward to seeing that fight and seeing what happens in the results. If I'm up for an eliminator, it puts me in a good position, regardless of what happens in that fight.
Big face-off today, press conference, New York City. Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. They finally met. Did you get a chance to see that and your take on that today?
I saw a little bit of it. It's cool, man. Look, first and foremost, I'm a fan of the sport, so watching 2 big names in the sport, massive fan bases on both. It's exciting to see them fighting. About time. You know, you're getting the bigger fights happening. I think, you know, myself and Lopez, myself and Haney, you know, brought that to boxing. You know, we you know, brought the big fights. So it's good to see these two guys fighting. I love the Oakley Sunnies.
Yeah.
I got a similar pair for the jet ski.
Looked a bit Crossy there today.
I wouldn't wear it for a press conference, but look, Tank can do what he wants. You know, he's the man. So
You referred to him before as Tanky, haven't you?
yeah, when I had the belts, from now he can be Tank. But
Yeah.
I like them. I like the Oakleys. You know, I got a similar pair for my jet ski. You know, when you're going fast, you know, you want to have the shades on. So maybe he's preparing for Ryan Garcia's speed, having the shades on as well. Who knows?
You look at Garcia, there's Tank, there's Haney, there's yourself, there's Loma, there's Zach Cruz, there's Jojo, there's the whole lightweight division, the way it moves.
Yeah.
It's impeccable at the moment.
But it's not only just the lightweights, it's the light welterweights. Look at the division up there. You got Lopez, you got Prograis, you got Ramirez, you got Liam Parro, you got you know, Barboza. You got so many great fights. I'm probably missing more actually. The Sabriel Matias, whatever is the last name you say it. He's a devastating guy as well. So such a good division. 135, 140. You know, I believe that the two hottest divisions in the world, and you know, exciting fights to be made. You know, not only with myself, but with so many of these guys. Everyone should be fighting each other.
I know you've spoken about it before with your close team and that, but there's a chance one day, you know, say if Tank did get defeated by Ryan or Ryan got defeated by Tank, you sort of come into that equation. There is a chance that you could face two of those guys.
Of course, yeah. There's so many equations that we could fight. You know, any of these guys or all of these guys eventually. You know, I'm only 29. You know, people think I'm a little bit older than what I am, but you know, I'm 29. I've been around the game a long time. I've had to really crawl to get to where I am. You know, and you know, it reminds me a little bit of what Harrison said as well. A lot of people had to, you know, take the stairs while others take the lift. My knees are bleeding. I had to crawl to get my position. So yeah, look, there's a lot of good opportunities, a lot of good fights, you know, in the lightweight division, and you know, so hopefully I'll fight them all.
That's why I asked, because when you were overseas, you're undefeated overseas, and you lost here. You brought it back here to 44,000 people. You know what I mean? Sold the floor out in sort of 3 weeks. It was absolutely massive.
Less the ringside seats and the corporate seats were a lot of tickets, obviously, and obviously expensive tickets. Within 30 hours, they sold.
Yeah.
Then the stands all started to go. So you know, that's I'm very proud of that event.
And in saying that, but would you look at like the success that you've had overseas? You don't want to go back over there for this next fight. You purely want to do this again and bring a homecoming again for Kambosos.
Not necessarily. You know, I love fighting overseas. I'm undefeated overseas. I've never lost in America. I've never lost in the UK. I've never lost in you know, Malaysia. I've fought and wherever I've fought around the world. I've fought in Greece. I've fought everywhere.
Yeah.
But you know, the US is always great to fight. But this fight, we'll see. We'll see. I think this fight will be a good fight here in Australia. But again, if it becomes the co-main to a massive fight, so be it. We'll earn our stripes again.
Another big fight, March 25th, Premier Boxing Champions presents Caleb Plant versus Benavides. Benavides versus Caleb Plant. Yeah. Another great fight at 168. Your take on that fight, the boxer in with the guy that likes to walk people down in Benavides. Your take on that and how that might go down.
Really good fight. You know, as a you know, boxing fan, really good fight, going under the radar. Styles make fights, you know, and Plant showed in his last fight he can pop as well. So interesting. Benavides is big. He is a big, you know, guy, big human being. So it's an interesting fight. That's why these fights, you know, Styles make fights, and we have to wait to see.
Alicia Bumgarner said something today for the Zoo versus Harrison that, you know, the Australians are going to find out on Sunday what it's like when an American fights an Australian. We spoke about that offline today. That definitely wasn't the case with yourself and Mickey Bay, Teofimo Lopez, Lee Selby. Your take on what Bumgarner said today about that?
Yeah, look, everyone's got their own opinions, you know, everyone's got what they think, but, you know, if you go to that take, yes, Haney beat me, but I beat Lopez, one of their biggest stars at that stage. I beat Mickey Bay, I beat a lot of other guys, you know, on the come up. So, you know, it is what it is, everyone's got their opinion, and we'll have to wait till Sunday.